Yo, so I've been researching counters in the lab for what's felt like months now. Of course, I like taking on more Smash projects for some reason, but we're here to talk about something I stumbled upon while researching these counters. This video highlights Mii Swordfighter, so if that doesn't interest you, then you're welcome to click off. Feel free to be hyped for the next video I make, if you want. Thanks for tuning in if you did. But if this does interest you, then welcome. Sit back and relax. It's time.
I'm warming to it.
Okay, in March, I was dabbling with characters, right? Trying to see if I could dig up and find anything hidden in this game for any counters. Any undiscovered technology. And it turns out, Mii Swordfighter had something hidden after all. But not so fast. This video is not just going to highlight the new tech. I wanted to showcase all the niche things about this counter too because I find it pretty interesting. For starters, Semi-Pseudo Crawl, or SPC for short, is Smash jargon that started to appear back in Brawl. And it's when your character's down tilt, or whatever the move is, will cause them to inch slightly forward after repeated usage. Dunban's down tilt doesn't have this, but the blade counter stance does, and is what I guess we'd call reverse semi-pseudo crawling. You scoot backwards each time, albeit barely. On the other hand, blade counter is quirky in the air in comparison because you shift forward slightly during the startup, and then you'll step forward at the end of it too. I'm just showing short hops here, but you can avoid this forward step motion if you're airborne long enough to outlast its animation length. Neat. Oh, and with the recent slingshot discovery going around again, applying this tech with the blade counter's activation from an air-to-ground transition is quite interesting. For example, a flick shot from a dash back after BC's activation shows Dunban doing his usual advancing forward step during the attack. The more bizarre example, though, is when you apply a flick shot from dashing toward Pac-Man. In this case, Dunban does a huge backstep motion literally right before attacking. Fascinating. Apparently, forward tilt can SPC too, so that's neat.
Not bad. You can do it, right?
Both Dunban and Shulk share similarities with their counters. They have different frame data for their stances and attacks depending on if the counter state is grounded, airborne, or transitions from an air-to-ground state. Here's some frame data on screen as a reference. Shulk has counter technology called ground near vision, and it's essentially Shulk becoming grounded after an aerial activation. Not only does Shulk have the much faster aerial frame data from vision despite becoming grounded, or the fact that Shulk's backstep is less distance when airborne.
Amateurish. Amateurish.
But he also produces a great sliding feature alongside it too. The former drifting property beforehand also plays a role in how much Shulk will or will not slide across the floor as well. If we take inspiration from Shulk's ground near vision, we'll unlock something unique for blade counter too.
No rest for the wicked.
On Dunban's behalf,
Allow me to help.
we'll show his frame data as a recap.
Leave this to me.
Now that Dunban has graced us with his wisdom, let's reveal everything there is to know. The term can be coined whatever the majority prefers. After all, this video is solely for the Mii Swordfighter community and anyone who enjoys Mii Swordfighter as a whole. It's up to them for what they would like, but I'll just call it 1BC for this video. The tech has conditions in order to perform it correctly, and they are activating it in the air, and becoming grounded between frames 31 to 37. That's it. When you land within this window, your air-to-ground counter will become 1BC, acting on frame 38 now. This adds +1 to your advantage state and promotes the combo tree by 1 extra frame. It's not much, but it'll make combos like this one that's normally impossible, possible. so feel free to experiment. The conclusion is that even on frames 38 to 40, you can still have an air-to-ground counter that acts faster than the standard aerial attack, though landing in this window causes you to undergo what we'll call animation lag. Dunband lands for that one frame and can't act with anything you press except the specials button. For whatever reason, it overrides the animation lag, allowing Dunband to act on the very frame he lands. Landing on frame 41 without pressing the specials button makes you act on frame 42, which is basically the same as saying you're doing an aerial attack. The overall window of this animation lag phenomenon comes from landing between frames 38 to 48, and landing on frame 49 and onward causes Dunband to act instantly. But just remember.
Okay, now! Timing is everything! Remember that!
You can just act on frame 42 in the air if you haven't transitioned to the ground correctly yet. And that's the technique. That is apparently never before known until I stumbled upon this in March 2022. I'm gonna be real, I didn't even want to know about it, but my research granted me the observation of discovering it and putting this video out. So, cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. And keep it on. No matter what.